the Friday. If you don't get the Wall Street Journal and you're in real estate or you're interested in real estate, pick up the Friday edition. But in here, they're doing an article on a seller's guide for luxury homes. And they've broken the country down into buyer's markets and seller's markets. And they're basically giving you some ideas in either one of these markets, whether you're a buyer or seller, what you need to know in selling your mansion. And they did a survey through Realtor.com of the 10 highest identified luxury markets in the United States on both buyers and sellers, and then they're sharing their findings with you. And they did it over about an 8-month period. And showed you the information. And what I found very interesting is that they go into detail in what they call an absorption rate. And that is how many of the homes are selling in a specific city. Such as for the buyer's market, they're saying the best buyer's market, in other words, there are more sellers than buyers, is Ocean, New Jersey. And they say the absorption rate there is 4.3%. Well, what that means is in any given month, let's say there's 100 homes for sale for over $1 million, mansions, in Ocean, New Jersey, 4.3 of them will sell. That's pretty terrible. Now, the best of the buyer's market is Montgomery, Maryland, and that's a 16% sell-through rate. Meaning, again, if there's 100 homes, 16 of them sell. Then they go over here and they talk about the best seller's market. In other words, you got a good chance of selling your house. And the best is Arlington, Virginia. And I'm sure this has something to do, and I think they do go into detail with it, that it's near the capital. And Amazon has declared that they're going to build a new headquarters there. So there's a good chance you can sell your home. Second was Loudoun, Virginia. Again, very close. And then third is Mecklenburg, North Carolina, and that has a 31% sell-through rate. That doesn't sound real good to me. Then you go down to again in the top 10, number 10 is Orange, Florida, best sellers market, and it's a 17%. So number 10 out of the top 10 sellers markets for mansions, you got a 17% chance of selling your house in any given month or in any given year. That's terrible. I don't know of any other business that you could say you got a 17% sell-through rate and it would be in the top 10. So what I found puzzling about this is there was no mention in here as to the whys. What is happening that luxury homes are having such difficulty selling? I couldn't find in the article, and it's a 3-page article, once the mention of demographics, once the mention that the people who built these homes, the baby boomers, were part of the mine is bigger than yours generation. And then following that was their children, the Generation X, and as a result of the birth control pill, they're 25% smaller generation, so your buyer's market shrank. Then they don't mention anything about the subprime crisis that took those Generation Xers and slammed them to the ground as far as real estate was concerned, in that they lost their equity. They may have lost their home, they may have lost their job, and so they aren't in the market to jump in and buy these mansions. And then there's the millennials. Why aren't they buying them? Well, it could be their student debt. Even a doctor comes out. I was talking to a lady in my yoga class, and she said, yeah, I have my son-in-law is a resident and he's got a $400,000 student debt. Do you think he's in the market to come out of school? Yeah, maybe he's going to make $500,000. Is he going to buy a luxury home when he's burdened with $400,000 of student debt? I don't think so. There's not a mention of that in this article, and I find that puzzling. Why aren't we addressing this problem as the problem that it is? What the article does say to the buyer's market is if you're having difficulty selling your home, you need to price it below the going price for homes in your marketplace. Well, that might mean you're going to lose some money on it. But I got is going to lose. So if you want to sell one of these, you got to price it and get it gone, because along with ownership comes the maintenance, comes the HOA fees, comes the high cost of ownership, and this is something you don't want if you're approaching retirement. And that's who's mostly selling these things, are the baby boomers. So then from there, my take on this is there's no mention in marketing. How do you market something like this? Well, I bring it back to automobiles. You market a Ford differently than you market a Maserati or a Bugatti. You have to, for a Bugatti or even a Mercedes, you have to create a market. And in real estate, if you're selling Fords, you just put up a sign and do an MLS listing and let it go. And it will probably sell. So, but when you're selling a Bugatti, you got to romance it. You got to go create your market. You got to not only reach to the people who have a need, you have to create a desire. You have to show them that this is something they can't live without. So how do you do that? Certainly, photography is number one on this list. You've got to have a professional photographer. And most MLSs and Zillow and Realtor.com and all of them allow you to put in 50 pictures. If you're listed with an agent, go to, certainly photography is number one on this list. You've got to have a professional photographer. And most MLSs and Zillow and Realtor.com and all of them allow you to put in 50 pictures. If you're listed with an agent, go to Zillow and look at your house and see if you have 50 pictures. If you don't, if you only have 40, then you have just given up 20% of your marketing capability. You call your agent and tell him, you get those other 10 pictures in here, you get a photographer out here and find 10 more pictures that you can put on my Zillow listing. Then the next thing is video. If I'm selling a $1 million home, I want the best of technology to take care of it. So I want my agent to have a YouTube channel, and I want him to come out and take a video of my home showing and explaining, the same as if I'm buying a Lamborghini, the sales agent is going to do for me. He's going to walk me through that car and show me why it's worth $500,000. Well, that's what has to happen if you're trying to sell a $1 million home. Now, once you do that as an agent, how do you get it in front of the people that you want to sell the house to? Well, for the most part, we know that 90% of all first showings on a house occur on an internet portal. Can you, on your MLS, descriptions, put a URL to a YouTube video? No, you cannot. They won't allow it because Zillow doesn't want it there. Because Zillow doesn't want you, the listing agent, to necessarily sell that house. They want to sell that lead to another agent for a advertising fee, if you will, and so they don't want to give you a leg up. Well, let me tell you a secret. If you're an agent, or if you are a homeowner that is working with an agent, you insist upon a video. In the description, within the first 10 words of that description, you put in parentheses, see YouTube video, and then the address. See YouTube video, then the address. What you're doing in doing that is, if I'm coming and looking at your house, I can't click on it, but I can certainly copy it and paste it into YouTube, and guess what comes up? Your agent YouTube video. So what happens now? Now, my YouTube video is basically selling not only the house, but selling me. Because I'm going through the house and I'm displaying my personality and my knowledge and my character to the person who's interested in the house. That gives me a leg up. Now, am I listed on the Zillow or Realtor.com as a listing agent? Yes. But do I ever get a call from someone who has visited it, either Realtor.com or Zillow or Trula or any of them, and say, hey, I saw your house on Zillow and I'd like to come see it? No, it has never happened in 5 years, because Zillow, I'm not paying Zillow. They're sending it to their agent, and then their agent meets the potential buyer who saw my house on Zillow in the driveway for the first time and shakes hands and says, my name is James. It's crazy. So you've got to beat Zillow at their game. So, in parentheses, see YouTube video address, and you now got a chance, okay? That's marketing. That's marketing. Because the other thing, as a realtor, when they see that, they're going to be exposed to your other videos for your other houses. You also, in my case, my keywords are moving to Birmingham, relocating to Birmingham. You go and put those words in Zillow and see what you find. You are going to find my face all over YouTube. I've sold homes to people from out of state who come only to see my home on video. So, or in Birmingham, and they saw it on YouTube video. So this is marketing. And damn it, if you're selling $1 million home, you need to put a video up. Now, what is that going to cost you as a real estate agent? Well, it's a lot less than if you're selling $1 million home and you got a 3% commission, and it's a lot less than $30,000. So it's worth the investment. I have paid as much as $4,000. I will never do that again. That was early on in my career. And now I have someone who will do all my 100 pictures of 50 that I can choose from, and my video with drone and the whole deal for about $600. Is that a good deal? I think it is. I will do a video within the next 2 weeks where I'll show you how, with a gimbal, with a tripod, with your cell phone, you can do the video yourself. And it'll take an investment, let me add, and a drone. And there's a learning curve. Yeah, it's a steep learning curve. But if you're selling $1 million homes, you either pay somebody to do it or you learn how to do it yourself and create it. Now, the other thing, let's talk about this video. Who's going to sell that house? We know as realtors that there's a 90% probability that it won't be me, the listing agent. It'll be someone else. So what do? I know that in Birmingham, there are roughly 3,862 agents, but there are only about 250 who have ever sold $1 million home. So what I've done is I've gone and found their email addresses, all 250 of them. And so I have in my mailing CRM, Constant Contact, you can use MailChimp, you can use whatever, I have a list of those 250 agents. So what I do is when I get my video done, I send them a link to the video. I put a nice letter and say, hey, want you to see this house. I tell a little bit about it. I put my face on it. I get about a 20% open rate. So 20% of the agents that I want to know about this open it and see it. Is that genius? No, it's just marketing. Now, I also have created a mailing list of people that have responded to my emails, and live in the community, and I know that they could potentially be in the market for $1 million home. I send them an email on my new listing. I send them an email roughly once a week. I'll probably send them an email with this video in it, so as to educate them and the realtors as to this is how you market homes, and that we have a real problem here, and that problem is selling the baby boomers expensive homes. I've written a book about it. If you want to know more about it, if you want to know the letters that I send, what I call my most wanted list, 100 homes that I would like to sell that are $1 million homes, and I write them a letter, and it says, are you puzzled why your home isn't selling? And I go into detail about it. Then a week later, I send them Best of U.S. Homes formula for selling homes. If you'd like a copy of all that, it's in the book, or go to bestofusagents.com and put in your email address, and I'll send you a copy of the letters that I write. If you want to understand the demographics that's driving this problem, go to my book. I do it in detail. If you want to learn how then to shoot video and use YouTube video to promote your homes, buy the book. I go into detail. I walk you through how to do it. So, yeah, it's a good article. It's all about selling mansions. And a mansion doesn't have to be $1 million home. It can be a $700,000 home. It can be a $500,000 home. But folks, there's a lot more to selling homes than just writing a listing, filling out some paperwork, and putting a sign in the front yard. You market. You market a luxury home the same way you market a luxury car. Nobody needs a Mercedes. Nobody needs a Bugatti. No one needs a $3 million home or a $1 million home as far as that goes, but they want it. And it's your job to sell it for them. And to sell these, you have to market them. So stop being a listing agent and become a marketing agent. The other thing you need to do is to show up for every showing. Would you buy a Bugatti if you went to the dealership and they said the key is on the front tire, and you just go out and drive it and see if you like it, and if you like it, give us a call and we'll come down and take your check? No, you wouldn't do that. So then why would you expect someone to drive from Paducah, Kentucky to come see your $1 million home in Birmingham, and you as a listing agent don't show up to sell it to them? That's nonsense. And if you want to be successful in this business, that's how you separate yourself from every other agent who's been around for years and you can't compete with them. Well, you got to do something that they don't do. Okay, that's how you sell mansions. That's how you sell luxury homes. Now, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, give me a comment, and subscribe. The other reason I need you to subscribe is I'm in a race. I'm in a race to get 1 million subscribers. There's only 1,600 of the, I think it's 31 million YouTube channels that have 1 million subscribers. You give me a competition and I want to get involved in, and I want to win it. So I'm in a race to get 1 million subscribers, and I need your help. I need you to subscribe, and then I need you to get your grandmother and your aunt and your uncle and your brothers and your sisters to subscribe. And in this, don't hog this information. Share it with your other real estate agents. Work together. Find a photographer, find a videographer, work together to make this work. There's enough business for us all. Okay, help me in my race, and let's sell some mansions. Get this article, read it, and pick up if you're in the $1 million home business, pick up the Friday edition of Wall Street. They have this mansion section every year, or every week. Okay, thank you.